Good afternoon and welcome to the 46th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Parade. We're so excited to have you with us today. I'm Karen Larson.
And I'm Julie Chin. Despite the bitter cold, the crowds have shown up. They're wearing their layers like we are. They're wearing their blankets, and everybody here for a great parade today. If you hold it, they will come. This is, according to organizers, the third largest parade in America. And boy, we are ready for a great day today.
Absolutely. We want to show you the view of the parade. They are literally starting right behind us. Now, normally we begin with the Tulsa Police motorcycles and the ROTC. We have had a few folks not be able to make it today, but as you can see, front and center is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Society here in Tulsa. They have been active directing programming, leadership development, civic engagement, opportunities for artistic expression for more than 20,000 boys and girls all across Tulsa. And you can see the parade is starting.
In fact, this year's theme is Tulsa, the Dream in Motion, and we are quite literally watching the dream in motion this morning. Such an exciting day. Of course, the parade pushed back an hour this year because of the cold weather, but you know what? The sun is shining, and everybody off to a great start.
Absolutely. Now, the next in line, you'll see a limo right behind the Commemoration Society. You will see Dr. Ebony Johnson and MLK President Please Thompson. They're riding together, Julie.
Yes, they are our grand marshals today. It was funny. Please Thompson on our news last night, Samson Tamajani interviewed him. You know, he's a board member, Vietnam veteran, and retired postal worker. And he said, I delivered the mail in all sorts of conditions, so you better believe we're going to have this parade today.
And Dr. Ebony Johnson, a very proud McLean graduate, so happy to be the leader of our state's largest school district.
Yeah, and together they are so proud to be here to honor Dr. King's legacy. Up next, we have the Tulsa City Council, right?
And we're seeing the police department walking by.
Yes, and of course, Chief Larson there with the police department. You know that guy.
I might know him just a little, about 35 years.
Yes.
We celebrated this last year.
Yes, he is the 41st police chief of Tulsa. Of course, before him was Wendell Franklin, who was our first African-American to hold the position of police chief.
And I believe following them, that is the city council and some of the members. There's the police chief there, and right next to him, you can see Tulsa County District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler. Of course, these two agencies, very, very close partners as they work to fight crime in our city.
And we have a lot of people coming up behind them as well. Everybody out here today to have a great time. The police department still watching them, dedicated to, of course, protecting and serving the Tulsa community with professionalism and integrity. Also, still seeing the Commemoration Society there. They're the ones who put on this parade for us.
And I got a glimpse there of our new mayor, our first black mayor in the city of Tulsa. We saw Mayor Monroe Nichols there as well.
And I know we'll be checking in with him coming up, and I know that you sat down and spoke with him last week, and we'll be hearing from him also throughout the day and tonight.
We will, absolutely. All right, and then coming up, here we are with the Tulsa Fire Department. Of course, committed to excellence in emergency operations and community support. And I think, Julie, there's just nothing like seeing a big fire truck rolling down the street, especially on a commemorative day and not for an emergency.
Oh, you better believe it. You know, there's some little kids out there going, Mama, fire truck. I know my little guy would. You know, TFD responds to more than 57,000 incidents a year. So like you said, kind of nice today that they're here for a celebration and not to, respond to an emergency. Covering 201 square miles, serving over 400,000 people. TFD, a lot of heroes here in our parade today as we celebrate Dr. King.
And you know that Chief Baker sent his biggest and best fire trucks to represent the department for all the kids and adults to enjoy as they roll down the streets of downtown Tulsa. All right, immediately behind them, of course, is the AFSCME Local 1180. They say Tulsa works because we do, proudly representing over 1,300 City of Tulsa employees who keep our city running very smoothly. From filling potholes and maintaining parks, there they are, and fixing water lines and helping citizens. They're very dedicated workers to help build a stronger, better Tulsa for everyone. And today they march in honor of Dr. King's legacy of hard work and community service.
Oh, and right behind them we have the City of Tulsa Parks, Culture, and Recreation. Recreation Department as well. Tulsa Parks covering 57 miles of walking trails. The city of Tulsa also in this parade. Of course, Tulsa celebrated its 127th birthday this weekend.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Long time city in operation. All right. So let's see, I'm just hearing a producer talking to me for a second. Couldn't hear what that is. Again,
It looks like we have the sheriff's office.
There's the sheriff's office, of course.
Yes.
Sheriff Vic Regalado has been in charge of that office for a number of years now. Over a century, the TCSO has provided law enforcement services to unincorporated areas of Tulsa County. Their motto, total commitment to serving others. And they say that they proudly uphold a tradition of service and community support to honor Dr. King's legacy.
We appreciate all those sheriff's deputies out here today. Brought quite the caravan with them. They always do such a big showing at all of the parades, whether it's the Christmas parade or here at the Martin Luther King Jr. parade. So always fun to watch them as they come through town as well.
And there's EMSA rolling along as they always do. You can count on EMSA to cover an entire Tulsa County, many, many areas all across the city of Tulsa. Those ambulances, the new ones that they have, they roll through those intersections, and they've got those vibrators, if you will, that they make so much noise, those sonic noises that you hear as they come through. You can't miss them as they are rolling through.
OSU Tulsa is next. Of course, Oklahoma State University in Tulsa. You can hear the vehicles honking behind us. Everybody's ready for this fun parade, ready to have a good time today. Of course, OSU Tulsa, a proud land-grant university dedicated to promoting, learning, advancing knowledge, enriching lives, they say. And today they honor Dr. King's legacy of education and also empowerment. There's Pistol Pete. You can't have a parade and have OSU Tulsa in it without some resemblance there of Pistol Pete.
And of course, the students at OSU Tulsa, they recognize those buses. They often will hitch a ride on those buses to the main campus in Stillwater for their classes and then roll on back to make sure that they can get every single class they need for their degrees. They can start here at OSU Tulsa, they can finish here at OSU Tulsa, but sometimes they had to head back to the original campus in Stillwater.
Up next, it looks like we have a float coming down the street. Always fun to see all the effort that's put into these floats. Is that One Oak?
Yay
Yes.
for One Oak.
You know, One Oak was originally called the Oklahoma Natural Gas Company when it was founded in 1906, changed to One Oak in 1980. Of course, headquartered here in Tulsa. It's one of the largest energy companies in Oklahoma.
And they also sponsor, of course, the Commemorative Society's big I Have a Dream speech, a competition that they have every year. So a very, very large turnout by One Oak today. We appreciate them. They always build a tremendous float, if you will, that they, turn out for the parade. They have dozens of their employees who turn out. They're very, very big supporters of MLK Day celebrations.
Oh, and as you mentioned, that I Have a Dream speech contest that happens, it's so inspiring for students across the area. And of course, the Commemoration Society, they give so much money and scholarships. They have over the past 46 years to local students as well.
Yes, and Colin Walters, the Broken Arrow winner this year, you'll be hearing, if we get a chance, we'll play some of his competition, his winning competition, and interact that with some of the clips from the actual I Have a Dream speech. So when we have an opportunity, we'll play those for you today.
Yes.
All right, so let's see who do we have next coming up?
Sure.
Let's build in Tulsa.
Oh.
Family and Children's Services. They are the ones who are here. We are so glad to have them with you. They said that they focus on healing hurting and abused children. They strengthen families and provide hope and recovery for those facing mental illness and addiction. Their work uplifts the community and it embodies Dr. King's vision of care and compassion for all.
They do. I did a Positively Oklahoma story with them and how they were spreading kindness. And here they are spreading that message of community and caring and compassion here at the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. Bank of Oklahoma should be coming up as well.
There they are.
There they are. And that signature red that you always know is where you're going to find your BOK ATM, right? Proud supporter of the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Parade. BOK founded more than 100 years ago to meet the needs of the community. today. They continue to actively advance the communities we serve. They want to continue the legacy of community and involvement by making Tulsa a better place to live, work, and play, of course.
It's so great to see so many turning out today. The weather, at least there is sunshine. It is not raining. It is not snowing.
No.
It's a little chilly, but we are so very, very glad to have them with us. Again, that's the Bank of Oklahoma.
Big turnout at Bank of Oklahoma. And what a beautiful float they have with those stars. And we can see that medallion there on there as well.
And the theme, Tulsa, the dream in motion, proudly displayed as they roll through, in motion, the streets of downtown Tulsa.
Of course, BOK, such a staple in Tulsa. And so is Quick Trip, which is the next float we're going to see coming down the way.
We're still on the BOK, but right behind it, there's Quick Trip.
Yep,
we're seeing the banner. Founded in Tulsa in 1958, Quick Trip has grown into a company with over 1,000 stores across 17 states. Known for its commitment to quality and service, Quick Trip also gives back by donating 5% of its net profits to charitable organizations in the communities it serves. So they are very, very glad to see them here today. And check out the huge float that they have turned out with one of the quotes from Dr. King: "We are stronger when working together."
And I love it because as we're looking at this video, as Karen and I are peeking behind us, we are seeing families, the families of Quick Trip here walking in the parade today. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
Bringing your kids with you. Some of them are in strollers. Some of them are walking. They're giving the thumbs up. They're giving high fives. And speaking of families, one of our photographer's sons, he works for Quick Trip, and he said, my son Evan is going to be walking with the Quick Trip folks.
Somewhere in there.
Evan Meister is walking in the parade today. So we wanted to give a shout out to Evan.
And on the back of those sweatshirts, it says, "The Dream Team." Oh, how perfect is that? Great job
that
from
is
Quick
very
Trip.
clever. Very clever, Quick Trip.
Wonderful turnout. They have now expanded to so many states, almost coast to coast, I think.
Yeah.
They're really working on that. This one of the largest privately held companies in America with more than 33,000 employees, proudly saying they work for Quick Trip. And coming right behind them is another, the owners of Quick Trip also started MedWise, Julie.
Oh, MedWise, dedicated to providing accessible, compassionate health care to the community, ensuring everyone has an opportunity to thrive. They say, just like Dr. King envisioned a society of equality and opportunity, they say MedWise works to empower individuals and families by removing barriers and to care, building a healthier Tulsa, and keeping the dream of wellness alive and progress in motion for all.
Now, right behind us, we've got a dance team from Williams in place. There they go. Let's watch for a second.
I love it. Makes me want to get moving.
I know, they're having
You know
so
what?
much
That's
fun.
how you get the blood pumping on a cool day like this. You get dancing in the streets here in Tulsa.
Williams, of course, one of Tulsa's larger employers. They say that we foster an environment that attracts a high-performing, diverse, and inclusive workforce. They say that they treat all of their customers and business partners in this dignity and respect. Of course, the qualities that Dr. Martin Luther King espoused throughout his entire life.
A huge energy company in Tulsa, and we could feel that energy on our streets today. Having a great time here, by the way, with you, my friend.
I know, it's so much fun to work with my buddy, Julie Chin. We have known each other for over 20 years. How many years is it?
Over
trying
20,
to figure
probably 23 years. I've been here 23 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, I remember meeting you like very first time.
Oh, Christmas at my house. It was fun.
Yeah.
Christmas dinner. All right, our next one here is Williams still rolling through. Again, they have one of their beautiful floats.
Yes.
We love the fact that our larger employers turn out every year. They really put a lot of work into these floats. You can see the City of Tulsa flag combined with the American flag in there, and then, of course, the Williams logo, followed by dozens and dozens of their employees who have proudly turned out to support the MLK commemorative parade in Tulsa.
I'm sorry, and they're offering candy to us, Karen. We said, no, you can hold it. You can give it to the kids around the parade route. But, it's amazing that people have put forth such an effort, not just to come out in the cold weather, but then to build these beautiful floats. It's just such a beautiful day. Valmont Industries, that's who we see right here. They offer like a variety of infrastructure solutions here in Tulsa, committed to equality and diversity, they say. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision centered on civil rights, equality, and justice for all. They're aligned with those values, and so the employees walking through the parade today, joining us for today's festivities.
Hey, let's check in with our Clifton Haskin. Clifton is along the parade side talking with people for us. Clifton, how's it going out there?
Great. You can see people all around me. People had their bags ready. They were just celebrating the great energy of Dr. King Day. You can see all the float. Yeah, give it up. Yeah, people are excited. The energy is alive down here, and people are just out here excited despite the cold, and they are ready to see all these floats and get plenty of candy. Back to you guys.
See, he's talking about the candy, but leave the candy for the kids, Clifton, okay?
I know. Well, you can have one piece. There you go. You got to have one commemorative piece. There you go. All right, let's see who's coming up behind us right now. We want to show you, we don't want to miss a single thing. This is Grand Mental Health. Of course, they are just growing and growing. They serve over 28,000 clients last year. They have more than 2,300 employees, and they provide services for adults, children, adolescents, and families who are struggling with behavioral issues or substance abuse issues across Northeast and North Central Oklahoma. So good to see them here. We appreciate their support.
Well, we recognize those trucks, don't we, friends? PSO Oklahoma here at the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. Since 1913, PSO has been providing safe, reliable electric service to customers across our state. Today, more than 1 million Oklahomans count on PSO to meet their energy needs. But, beyond that, PSO strives to provide the highest quality of customer services in everything they do, work to support economic development, and help communities grow and prosper. PSO, they know how to dress for the cold weather, don't they?
Absolutely. They're used to working in those conditions.
They are, and we are so grateful for them, especially when it comes to restoring our energy and, when we need it, especially in the weather conditions that we have.
All right, and proudly marching behind that blue banner is the University of Tulsa. Of course, this is our largest private university here in Tulsa. We're so happy to see so many members of their cheer team, their students, their staff, their professors, their deans. They're all there here and ready to support diversity, equity, and service, which is the whole focus, of course, on this national holiday. They say that TU is actively putting its mission and dream into motion by assessing how best to empower its students to create a positive impact wherever they go. And TU students, of course, so well known for their cybersecurity program, for their petroleum engineering programs. All across the world, we have students come to attend classes at the University of Tulsa.
I spy Captain Kane there. Some notable TU alumni, by the way. Dr. Phil, Rue McClanahan, one of the Golden Girls. Janie Triplehorn, she went to TU. Paul Harvey, of course, Jim Inhofe, Steve Largent as well.
So many famous alums. Good to see that there.
Up next, I think behind us, you can maybe hear them before you see them. I think we have one gas coming down the street.
ONG. We've got ONG. Really? It's ONG? All right. Well, we'll be ready for that.
No, it's one gas. It's one gas. Yes, they provide natural gas distribution services to more than 2.3 million customers in Oklahoma and Kansas and Texas, of course. And they're jamming down the street today. You can see that beautiful float they have. Again, today's motto is Tulsa, the dream in motion. Everybody just going all out with these floats.
And these floats are judged on how well they follow the theme, which, as you just mentioned that, you see that prominently displayed. It has to echo that theme. All right, here we have the Ed Darby Foundation. They believe that every child deserves equal opportunity to succeed. They fund educational, developmental, and community programs that support Tulsa students who are economically disadvantaged to fulfill their potential. They support community programs for students in North Tulsa to prepare them for the future, and of course, share the vision of Dr. King's dream.
I was reading about Ed Darby. He was the CEO of a manufacturing company, started that foundation in 2013. It started with simple ham giveaway at local schools, and boy, has it grown. American Airlines also coming down the street right now. Of course, their maintenance hub, main center here in Tulsa since 1946. American Airlines shares Dr. Martin Luther King's vision for a future where we walk hand in hand together, they say. And would you look at that float? Wow.
We've got a rotating globe on that float. Surely they're going to win one of the categories here today. You know it. They have worked very, very hard to show their support for today's ceremony.
Well, they know a thing or two about mechanics, don't they, over there at American Airlines. Such a colorful float, too. I think that's probably one of the most colorful ones we've seen so far today.
I think so, too. All right, and following closely behind them is Ascension St. John. Their message is that as a ministry of ascension, we are rooted in the loving ministry of Jesus as healer, and we commit ourselves to serving all persons with special attention to those who are poor and vulnerable. And always a very big supporter.
Oh, we've got some dancing going on.
Oh, we've got some dancing. Here we are.
Maybe we'll take a break and watch them do their thing.
You've got to love the fact that these employees at the NW Foundation have met together. You know, they have planned those dances, and they are ready to go.
Yes.
So that they can show their support for Dr. King's dream as we all come together on this day and celebrate the message that he shared with us. I'd love to see this.
Yes, and you were mentioning Ascension St. John. Mm-hmm. Here come their vehicles right behind the Ed Darby Foundation. So we're about to see them. There we go. Oh, giving us a good wave there. They're smart. They probably have the heat cranking in the vehicles. They said, you know what? Let's ride this route today and show off our nice vehicles. Not a bad idea at all. So they're coming down, and right behind them, it looks like we have John 3:16 mission. Yeah, John 3:16.
John 3:16, of course, very, very important. The work that they're doing right now with the shelter that they have downtown, serving meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, providing healthy options for people. They are also, for many of Tulsa's homeless population, just an essential part of our community, and that they know that they can turn to them for the food that they need, for warmth, for shelter, and prayer.
Yes. Up next behind them, I believe we should have American Waste Control. Oh, no, we have Bama. Oh, Bama companies, you know. If you like those delicious pies at McDonald's, right?
Yes, again,
That's the thing.
One of Tulsa's biggest employers, and you gotta love those McDonald's, the biscuits that they make, the apple pies that they make. They, of course, as a large employer, you can drive by their bakery in North Tulsa, and you can smell those lovely, lovely smells. There's just nothing like that. We appreciate Paula Marshall's leadership of this company and the job opportunities that they provide each and every day.
And there's their float. It says, celebrate his life by living his dream. Tulsa, the Dream in Motion, Bama Companies, beautiful gold and blue theme there. To see the American flag and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as well on that float. And there are all of our friends giving us a big wave.
It's a big wave.
Bama. Nice to see y'all. Thanks for being out here today. I noticed they all have their hoodies and their hats on, and they also have big smiles on underneath it all.
Yeah, you do have to love the fact that the companies are printing these sweatshirts and showing their support so they can really be unified as they're walking through this parade. Unity, of course, the message that Dr. King always wanted to share.
That's true.
Good to see it echoed for all the people who are joining in the parade today.
JP Morgan Chase, right behind our friends at Bama this morning. Of course, a big financial company, right? JP Morgan Chase. Hello, friends. Also giving big waves. They're proud to support the Tulsa community and honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They have a commitment to economic growth, financial literacy, and community development. They say together, we can build a stronger, more equitable future.
Love that. All right, American Waste Control coming up next with celebrating the Dream in Motion. They're showcasing their sustainability and, of course, their community service and unity. They say that through innovative waste management and recycling, they can honor Dr. King's vision. They want to work toward a cleaner Tulsa. By transforming waste into resources, we strive to create a brighter future. And take a look at that. Look at the bright colors they have put on that trash truck, if you will,
Yeah.
sanitation truck. Glad to see them out and embracing the message, and their employees walking behind with giant bags of candy for the kids. So glad to see that there.
And here's a fun fact about American Waste Control. Get this. They've recycled enough material to fill the BOK Center and the Cityplex Tower 25 times.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of recycling, American Waste Control.
Is a lot. Now, that is the Spirit Aerosystems entry right now that we're seeing rolling by. They showcase a float that is the result of collaboration between their experienced workforce and many of their new employees. It highlights the enthusiasm and contributions of their younger team members and those new to Spirit Tulsa. Representing the vision for the future, it reflects the dedication of Spirit's future leaders and innovators.
Osage Casino Hotel, they're next. Of course, these employees hitting the jackpot. Instead of going to work today, here they are in the parade, right?
Exactly.
They're proud to be part of today's celebration, they say, showcasing their commitment to community engagement and also hospitality. As a cornerstone of entertainment and recreation in the region, they honor Dr. King's legacy by supporting initiatives that bring people together and foster unity across Tulsa and beyond.
I also have to mention they do definitely bring some great entertainers to town.
Yes, they do.
Yes, their concerts are good ones, no doubt about it. And then following them is Community Care. Of course, this is the health insurance corporation that is one of our, again, state's largest employers, dedicated to caring for our community like no other health plan can. They say they make a difference in the lives of our friends and neighbors, offering hope and enriching lives while creating a stronger and healthier Oklahoma. Community Care. I actually did a story with them, Julie, and they raise bees on their parking garage. And they started with 3 hives, and they had to farm those out because they didn't want to stress the wild bees by having a domestic bee operation. But the employees get involved. They harvest the honey. They make wax, lip gloss, if you will, and they share it with customers and with employees.
That is so neat. It's always fun to hear those little nuggets that come out of some of these businesses. Flintco also marching down the street today. Of course, they're a construction solutions company here in Tulsa. They say where vision moves and dreams are built. So that's their theme today. Flintco, of course, partners with clients and designers and trade partners to turn project visions into reality. They are dedicated to bringing dream facilities to life. Flint Go embodies collaboration, innovation, and commitment to excellence.
And right behind them, you'll see Tulsa Community College. Of course, we have multiple campuses here in the Tulsa Metro, originating with the downtown campus. We've got the Southeast campus, the North campus. They are all across the city. Their goal is to build success through education. TCC's mission, they say, fulfills Martin Luther King's dream for all people to have quality access to education and opportunity for our students, staff, and faculty. So very good to see them rolling through in their blue vehicles with the big TCC. You can't miss it.
I read that TCC is the largest two-year Oklahoma college in Oklahoma, and that it graduates more Oklahomans than any other higher ed institution in the state.
Well done.
Yes, that's really quite a commitment to education, and TCC showing up here today.
And they work also very closely with our local high schools, providing many of the students an opportunity to get their associate's degree before they even graduate from high school. All right, next up is the synagogue. This is from the congregation B'nai Emunah. The core values of the synagogue very strongly rooted in social justice, as practiced by Dr. Martin Luther King. They say that their congregation is diverse and inclusive, strongly tied to the community through a number of meaningful long-term projects. I don't know if you knew this, but they have an Altamont bakery that they developed. It employs formerly unhoused individuals,
yes,
those with mental health issues, and they teach them to be commercial bakers, and they make some of the best cookies in Tulsa.
Yes.
We've had some at our newsroom. Every once in a while someone will send some by, and they say that the cookie sales support the bakers with a steady work and pay. They're also home of the refugee resettlement, helping refugee families settle and establish homes and new lives, safe lives here in the Tulsa community.
And they again also have families riding their float today, and all those beautiful flags that you see on there as well. Dr. King's face there in the middle, and they say the world is a narrow bridge, but never ever be afraid. Up next, we have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oklahoma, committed to fostering an inclusive culture that values diverse backgrounds, cultures, and experiences. Of course, healthcare company, believing that everyone deserves equal access to resources and information. We see Blue Cross Blue Shield there with their vans coming through.
All right, and I have to do a correction. I said community care and the bees. It was Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
That's
so
okay.
I need to correct that. It was Blue Cross Blue Shield at their location downtown where they raise the bees. Little mix up there.
That is okay.
All right, so right behind us we have the Caring Van. Bank of Oklahoma, a big sponsor of the Caring Van project, which is what offers free vaccinations to children all across the Tulsa community and throughout Tulsa County. They go to schools, they go to clinics. It's an opportunity for parents to easily get the vaccinations that are required for many of the students to go to school.
And behind them we have ConocoPhillips, of course, one of the world's largest exploration and production companies, joining us today for this parade, grounded, they say, by their spirit values: safety, people, integrity, responsibility, innovation, and teamwork. You put all those first letters together, and you get spirit.
Of course you do.
That's what is their mission today, and the mission behind their company. And they say their DEI vision is to foster an inclusive culture that values a rich mixture of backgrounds and identities and work styles that their employees possess.
And we want to tell you about the Assistance League of Tulsa. They are the next entries coming up. This is such an incredible organization. It's over 100 years old. It was founded after World War I, and the goal was to help families. And they provide over 10,000 Tulsa area students with brand new uniforms, brand new shoes, brand new coats every year. And they do that through their Bargains gift shop, Julie. They take gently used, beautiful things and they sell them. And all the money for that supports Operation School Bell, which is what we're seeing on the side of that bus right now. Operation School Bell, transforming lives and strengthening communities. That is what they are all about.
Oh, wow. I see Clifton Haskett. He's still hanging around there too. We'll have to check in with him in a few minutes. You know, he's our roving reporter today on the streets, talking to people, having a good time. I don't know if he's ready for us to go to him, but we'll have our producer check in with him and see, kind of get his report from the field. It's okay. I think
Clifton.
He's ready. Hey, Clifton, tell us what you're seeing down there. You're in the crowds with everybody.
Yes, I am, and let me tell you guys, the candy has been flowing. I've been getting mine. And if you look over here, how many people are still excited and living Dr. King's dream here, despite the cold. They've been excited. They've been cheering on all these floats. They've been ready for the candy and just living Dr. King's dream. I've been seeing all kinds of floats behind me. We got the school bus. And we got plenty of others. We got the Terrence Crutcher Foundation right here. And it is just alive and well down here for this parade. Back to you guys.
All right. We'll continue watching the entries as they roll on by. So good to see so many turning out. The Terrence Crutcher Foundation, of course, building just and liberated communities free from violence and harm. That is their goal, Julie.
Yes, and behind them, Goodwill Industries of Tulsa coming down the street. Of course, they believe in the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and they're committed to keeping the dream alive and in motion, which again is the theme of this 46th annual parade right here in Tulsa. So we see Goodwill, they're coming down the street, guided by their mission. Of course, a lot of people know Goodwill, right? A lot of people donate their belongings to Goodwill, hoping to help the community, changing lives. And here they are walking down the street with their banner, waving to people, spreading goodwill on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You know, Oklahoma has recognized MLK Day since it became a federal holiday back in 1983. That's when President Ronald Reagan signed a federal statute into the law that made it a federal holiday. So here we are, all 50 states, though. It took them a while to all recognize the holiday. It didn't happen until 2000. Up next, who do we have coming down? We have the annual Black Economic Foundation, and they are driving in a black SUV coming down the street right there. And then behind them, we have
the library, the Tulsa City County Library, of course. I have to tell you, this is a part of my life each and every day. I have their Libby app on my phone, Tulsa City County Library, with chapters all across the city of Tulsa and the county, if you will. It's an opportunity to show that they are really, really part of this community. They have a huge African American program, the entire chapters that they have where you can do genealogy, the programs that they offer each and every day, free books, free magazines, free opportunities to educate yourself or just enjoy the time there. The library is all about helping Tulsa.
They are, and I love to see Buddy the Bookworm. You see him right here today, walking down the street, spreading some cheer for this parade.
And you and your son have spent a lot of time at the library. You do the summer reading program every year.
We do. In fact, my library card is so old that it barely works when I check out books, but I refuse to give it up because I'm so proud that it is so worn and old. I don't want to change it for a new one.
Is yours the little blue and white one from long ago?
Yes, and it even has like the corner ripped off. It looks like a dog ate it, but I refuse to. And my son has a really cute, shiny one. But yes, we love the Tulsa Library. We too are there all the time. We appreciate all the work they do.
Absolutely. All right, so their Fall at a Library is followed up by Tulsa Public Schools, presented by Sodexo at Schools. TPS and Sodexo, their mission is to support Tulsa students by inspiring and preparing every student to love learning, to achieve ambitious goals, and make positive contributions to our world. Tulsa Public Schools reflecting Tulsa the Dream in motion by teaching our students, who are our future, every single day to be the best that they can and keep striving to reach their goals.
A little Taylor Swift playing off their float as they walk on, or float on by, I suppose we should say, but appropriate for this day and age, right? You can't have a parade without hearing a little Taylor Swift in this era.
Absolutely. Right? And again, a terrific float entry. You know, you see this in the larger cities where they have an opportunity to showcase a parade and their work or their mission. But here in Tulsa, as the third largest MLK parade, you can really see that these nonprofits, these city entities, these public institutions, they have reached out and they are going overboard, if you will, and the best that they possibly can to represent their support for MLK.
I love, too, that there's so many children that are involved in this parade as well, whether they're actually part of the parade or coming down the street in the parade. So the dream being passed on truly to the future generations.
Tulsa Tech is coming up right behind them. They're very proud to lead the region in career and technical education. They say they prepare students for quality jobs and equipping companies with a skilled workforce dedicated to educating people for success in the workplace. Tulsa Tech continues to empower individuals and strengthen the community through innovation and opportunity. And many people don't know that Oklahoma has one of the biggest and strongest tech school system in the nation.
Oh.
We are known nationwide for our tech programs.
That's wonderful. And you can see the big red bus from Tulsa Technology Center. It's coming up with the Tulsa Tech students driving on down the street there. And was giving us a little honk today, saying hello.
Yes, they are.
Right behind them, we have our friends from KOTV, Channel 6.
Oklahoma's own Griffin Media. They're honored to participate in the 46th annual MLK Commemorative Parade as Tulsa comes together to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King, and they work to keep his dream alive. Although right now, I think we're still seeing the Tulsa Tech Center bus.
Yep.
Of course, this is an opportunity for them to move students from one campus to the next as needed for their programs, or to go out into the field and work with employers as well.
You know, these storm chasing vehicles that we start to see now as we live stream this parade, you know, if there are any meteorologists inside these storm chasing vehicles, you know people are giving the meteorologists a hard time today, saying, couldn't you have turned the heat up a little bit today?
You know it.
But you know what? The sun is out. It's really not a bad day. And people probably out here doing what you and I are doing, just snuggling up a little bit closer to their friends. There are our friends at KOTV waving out the window, saying hi to everybody.
Glad to see them there. Followed up, I've got Fox News with them as well. One by one, you'll see all of our media partner. And then there's K-Hits Radio. I appreciate the music that they bring with them. You can hear it right behind us.
Cherokee Nation coming. Cherokee Nation coming up next. Tribal Council, Cherokee Nation Tribal Counselor Joe Deere wants to welcome everyone for attending today's parade. The Cherokee Nation says it's always proud to be a sponsor to honor Martin Luther King in these important days in our community. Principal Chief Hoskins, Deputy Chief Warner, and the Cherokee Nation all say hello. The Cherokee Nation Tribal Council honored to celebrate today on the Cherokee Nation Reservation as well. They say they gather today to honor Dr. King, his work, and the nation. Equality, they say, is the order of today.
All right, and then followed by that, you've got, that was the Cherokee Nation that you're seeing rolling by still, and followed up, we have the All Souls Unitarian Church in Tulsa, in Midtown Tulsa. Very socially active church, if you will. They are very, very open and supportive of Dr. King's legacy.
Yeah, they say they strive to love beyond belief. And like you said, they're an all-inclusive organization, believes that everyone, regardless of race, color, religion, political affiliation, deserves to be loved and uplifted. So spreading that message of love here today, that is part of Dr. King's dream.
That is the whole dream right there. And right behind All Souls, you're going to see our friends from Fox 23. Again, we love to show off our staff members that sometimes, some of these faces you'll know from watching television, but also at the same time, we love to bring our employees who work behind the scenes.
Yes.
This is an opportunity for all of us to come together and show that we support these missions, we support Dr. King's message. So you'll see photographers, you'll see editors, you'll see staff members, you'll see management teams all together coming out to support.
Behind that, we have Tulsa Postal Workers behind us. Of course, they're used to being out in the elements, right? And here they are today, actually probably smiling in the sunshine, waving at us here during the parade. We have a postal truck, and then, of course, we have our postal workers walking right behind them, spreading the message of peace and welcoming and unity on the streets of Tulsa today here in the Greenwood District.
Always glad to see them out and about. I'm always glad to see my postal worker dropping by,
Me
especially during the
too.
Christmas season when you get to see all of your Christmas cards and such. All right, and then now we have KLAMZ 105.3 radio. A lot of our media partners, of course, joining in, if you will. Glad to see them here.
Yes. We have the Juice Radio Show coming after them. The Juice Radio Show. And people are giving us the 2 out here as well. So that's kind of fun to see.
Everybody waving, having such a good time.
Working the camera. You got to work the camera a little bit, don't ya?
Absolutely. And then we've got KBOB 89.9. They call themselves the Black on Black Community Radio. They live stream 24/7. That's KBOB899.com. And I share that as they roll on through with an RV showing life is about radio. No doubt about it.
You can listen in on that for a minute.
Where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
It's the I Have a Dream speech. And then we have our friends at News Channel 8, Brenna Rose, right behind us. Of course, their anchor, their chief meteorologist, also in the Ranger 8 vehicle there. Coming down the street.
They call theirs the Mobile Science Lab. There you go.
And look right behind us.
Yes, glad to see you guys.
Oh, hi, Oily.
Good
Nice to see you.
Oh my gosh, there he is. Oh, there's Junior. Oh, I love it. So cute. Look how cute you are.
Oh,
Glad
nice
you're
and
here
cozy,
today.
too.
Love our Tulsa drillers.
We do.
Of course. Oh, and there's Hornsby back there. That
So we
was
got,
Junior Hornsby. Hi, guys.
See, we don't need baseball weather to have our baseball icons out here today. Of course, we are located just down the street from One Oak Field, so it makes sense that they came out here to see us.
And that is where actually the parade ends, is right at One Oak Field. So it's perfect that we have the drillers rolling along with us.
That was nice to get that warm, fuzzy hug,
It
wasn't
was.
it?
They were so cute. All right, and then we have the Divine Nine, as they call these next entries. These are a group of fraternities. 40A is the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Alpha Tau Lambda chapter, Black Wall Street Alpha, similar to the mission of our brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity develops leaders, promotes brotherhood, love for all mankind, academic excellence, and advocacy for our communities.
And then we have entry 40B, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Alpha Kappa Alpha, first intercollegiate historically African American sorority, founded on January 15th, 1908, to the historically black Howard University in Washington, D.C. A group of 16 students led by Ethel Hedgeman Lyle formed a sorority, broke barriers for African American women. The Alpha Chi Omega chapter, established in 1931, has served Tulsa through program initiatives that include empowering families and building economic wealth.
That's right. The sorority was one of the nation's largest Greek letter organizations, having had more than 360,000 members in 1,074 chapters in the U.S. and several other countries, too. The women can join through undergraduate chapters at a college or university, or they could be invited to join by a graduate chapter after they get their undergraduate or advanced degree.
Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, the Tulsa alumni chapter, also joining us today. Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity proudly upholds their motto, achievements in every field of human endeavor. They say they're committed to excellence, leadership, and service. The chapter continues to make a positive impact in the Tulsa community and beyond.
And then we also have the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I hope I'm saying these right. You know, I didn't do Greek life in college, so I'm kind of guessing on some of these names, Julie. So
you're
jump in
doing
here.
good.
Correct me if I need to
good.
be corrected. So, all right, Friendship Church is up next, I am told. Good to see members of our faith community walking through the parade and showing their support. There's a wonderful turnout there with their parade entry, and they've got people walking along with it and joining forces together to show their support for Dr. Martin Luther King.
And then we have Langston University, founded in 1897. Hello, giving us a big wave and giving us a big two, as well as Langston walks down the street, coming closer to our booth right now.
Their band originally had planned to be with us today, but apparently this kind of cold is a little bit difficult. It's hard on the instruments, and those kids, a lot of them really spend a lot of money and a lot of time and effort. They want to protect those instruments, so we're very glad to see Langston still joining us today. Now, the Gathering Place, this is one of our high spots here in Tulsa. It's making us a world-class riverfront park. It's designed to welcome all Tulsans to a vibrant and inclusive community space. They have so many incredible summer programs, winter programs, inside, outside. There's no doubt the Gathering Place has put us on the map here in Tulsa.
Well, that's right. USA Today voted it Best City Park in 2024. Gathering Place. So absolutely putting us on the map.
Have to love the Gathering Place in Tulsa, whatever the age of your child or whether you're adults. I brought, my best friend came to visit and I said, Mary, you've got to come with me and see this park. It is really something else. So whether you have children or not, you're going to love the park. It's a great, great location.
It is. That playground alone, I have a little guy, so we spend a lot of time at the playground, climbing on the castle, doing all the things there. And we climb right up there with him, and it is such a beautiful place. It is our central park. That's what I tell everybody. It is just like that. My brother's keeper coming through right now. They have a program that uplifts boys and young men of color. They're community partners. They align with Dr. King's vision of actively working to dismantle institutional barriers and create equitable pathways to opportunity. I know they held a leadership conference on Friday with a group of about 200 high schoolers, trying to instill with them so many of the values of Dr. King and teach those leadership skills, which was part of the programming that the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Society puts on. So this is so much more than this one-day parade. They really work to instill these values truly, not just through this week, but year-round.
Absolutely. They work very closely with the schools to encourage them to engage this programming, to expose children to, the lessons of Dr. King above and beyond just the individual history lessons that they have in their schools. So good to see that commemorative effort being done 365 days a year.
Absolutely. I think Dr. King would be proud of that as well.
Oh, he would be. Now, the Department of Veterans Affairs, this is the Eastern Oklahoma VA healthcare system. They are coming up next. They're rolling on down the road for the MLK parade. You can see them proudly holding their banner there. They say that they are constantly refining benefit information and necessary medical care to expedite veteran care. They say that they have a selfless goal of providing benefits to our service personnel and veterans who have served their country by enlisting in the United States military. And of course, we have our brand new VA Medical Center that opened at the 91st and Garnett Mingo area of Tulsa. We have the construction downtown on the new hospital going in there. So very good to see the support for our veterans just increasing, improving the medical care. It's a big part of Tulsa.
It is.
Glad to see that there.
It is a big part. Up next, we have the UAW Local 5010, the Tulsa Bus Plant. And of course, how appropriate, coming down the street on a bus.
We were Reading Partners Tulsa was going to be joining us as well. I do want to mention them because they are such an important part of our city as well. We do appreciate, of course, our Tulsa bus plant and seeing them here today. Reading Partners of Tulsa, one of the key partners with Channel 2. We love our program that we help get books into the hands of children each and every day.
Of course, today also Inauguration Day. It's not often that Inauguration Day and Martin Luther King Day fall on the same day. In fact, it's only happened twice before. And the next time it'll happen, it's projected to be 2053. So kind of an exciting little thing that's happening today. President-elect, now President Donald Trump, was inaugurated earlier today. And I think it was Bill Clinton and also Barack Obama who were also inaugurated on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, their second time.
Absolutely. I do also want to mention that, Tulsa is celebrating its first black mayor. And I interviewed Mayor Nichols just last week, and he says that our nation has made great progress since Dr. King's time, but there is still work to be done. Here's what he said.
My mom and dad were born in 1961 and 1962, and that was before the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. Because of the contributions, folks like Dr. King and all those folks who marched with him, right? But his vision, I'm sitting in the chair I'm sitting in today as somebody who not only is guaranteed the right to vote, but someone who is the elected leader of a city like Tulsa.
And we're going to hear more from your interview tonight at 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight we'll be sharing more of that interview. And he talked about how really Dr. Martin Luther King's vision really impacted not just him, but his parents and his grandparents as well. So we'll talk more about that. All right, we're in the spirit right now.
We have the 918 Riders. You can hear them behind us, the 918 Riders Motorcycle Club. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. They're really revving things up here. Of course, this is an organization that embodies a principle that nonviolence is a way of life for courageous individuals. Of course, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached that nonviolent kind of way of life, so they're embodying that. They believe in positive interactions on their motorcycles. You can see them smiling as they roll down the road there, showing off some really cool bikes at that. Hello.
Let's just listen in for a minute, Julie. I love the roar of those engines. All right, quite a turnout. You can see them rolling on through. A wonderful, wonderful turnout as we had for this parade today. The cold really not stopping the turnout. We had a few people who weren't able to make it, but we're so glad to see so many who did, like Aon. They are dedicated to building an inclusive community where everyone, regardless of background, identity, or beliefs, feels respected and valued. They say that by embracing diversity and fostering understanding, that they can create a stronger and more unified environment. As participants in today's parade, Aon proudly honors Dr. King's legacy of equality and justice, and they're reaffirming their commitment to a future where every individual experiences a true sense of belonging.
And of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, we've been talking a lot about his dream today. The dream in motion is today's theme. So let's hear a little bit from Dr. King about his dream.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
5 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice.
So, of course, Dr. King speaking on the National Mall before 250,000 people who heard his, then at the time, for much of America, shocking but enlightening vision for America.
And mixed in with that, we heard the winner of our oratorical contest also reciting that famous dream speech.
Yeah, our Broken Arrow student. Glad to see him here. All right, we do want to honor our United Nigeria Association of Tulsa. They say, together we stand. The United Nigeria Association, it's a nonprofit organization that is committed to fostering community development and unity. They say through their efforts, they work to uplift and strengthen the community, and they embody the spirit of collaboration and progress that Dr. King envisioned.
And very colorful costumes there as they were walking on by. Behind them, we have the Center for Employment Opportunities. They provide immediate and comprehensive employment services to individuals recently released from incarceration. Driven by the belief that everyone deserves the opportunity to build a stronger future, the CEO works to support individuals, their families, their communities by keeping the dream of equality in motion.
And there we have the Crossover Preparatory Academy. Nice to hear the drums, the first band, if you will, that walked by today. They're dedicated to restoring the community by developing educated, godly young men and women who have a deep love for North Tulsa. Their mission reflects a commitment to academic excellence, faith, and community service, inspiring the next generation of leaders.
That is fun to listen to. They're doing a great job, by the way.
Absolutely.
You got to think your hands have to be a little cold there, drumming away. Doing good. Oh, and playing the cymbals as well.
And they brought their bus along with them. They've got a great turnout here.
Yeah, that school actually started in 2017, so still pretty young school, but certainly making big strides there and playing the drum really well. Behind them, we have Tulsa Educare, Early Childhood School. They're dedicated to providing a joyful, hands-on learning experience that inspires children to wonder, investigate, and grow. And isn't that what we want our kids to do as they learn? They focus on collaboration with families. They help children build pride in themselves while appreciating the differences in others. That's part of Dr. King's mission, isn't it? Advocating for fairness and belonging. Tulsa Educare says it creates a safe and supportive environment where children feel confident, listened to, and motivated to learn.
Early childhood education, so science is showing such an important part of ensuring that students will be successful throughout their academic years. All right, the Nordam Group celebrating 55 years of success in Tulsa. Nordam is a family aerospace company that manufactures and repairs military and commercial aircraft components for global customers. Guided by culture, by values and principles, Nordam strives to serve and better our community. Now, Julie, I will tell you, in addition, Nordam is a huge supporter of STEM education in Oklahoma. They raise over $500,000 every year, money that is given to the Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance. And then what they do is they reach out to over 200,000 Oklahoma students every year, providing them with STEM education opportunity learning, like activities like drone camps and things like that. So they really want to inspire that next generation of engineers who will end up at Nordam. Fingers crossed.
Wow, really inspiring young minds. Wow.
Absolutely.
Behind them, we have the Tulsa Baha'is. The Baha'is believe the power to transform the world is affected by love originating from the relationship with the divine, love ablaze among members of the community. They're all about this love and how spreading love helps the world. So they're holding signs. You notice the inspirational quotes that they're not only holding, but that are all over their vehicle as well. So we watch the Tulsa Baha'is roll through.
Glad they're here. Also, Undercroft Montessori School. They provide an authentic Montessori education. They're committed to independence. Look at those
Little
smiles.
Spider-Man.
They're so cute. They're very committed to independence in thought and action. They also focus on critical and collaborative thinking, academic excellence, and compassion. But in addition to outside the academics, they want to teach these kids respect for self, community, and the world. Glad to see them turning out today. Undercroft Montessori School.
Youth Services Tulsa is right behind them, of course, dedicated to valuing and accepting all youth, providing support and encouragement to help them embrace their full potential. Through their mission, Youth Services Tulsa empowers young people to grow, thrive, and contribute to their communities. And they're pulling some people on the backside of their van right there. You can see they put Dr. King's face, and it looks like they've also added some signs on their float as well.
So, Julie, when you go to a Quick Trip store and you see the yellow triangle that says Safe Place, that is inspired by Youth Services of Tulsa. That is a collaborative partnership. It means that any child or teen or of any age can go into a Quick Trip store and say, I need a safe place. And they will contact Youth Services, and Youth Services will come and they will assist these young people with whatever issue that they're having at that time. Of course, Youth Service has its own shelter as well for youth. Now, we've got the Community Action Project of Tulsa County. Since 1998, CAP Tulsa has provided high-quality child care, early childhood education, and innovative support services to help families break the cycle of poverty. They're having served over 30,000 children and their families. CAP Tulsa envisions a future where every child and family has equitable opportunities to learn and grow and succeed. Good to see them here today.
It is. Oh, I love a mascot. And we have one with Dish Network who's walking down the street right now. I'm not not sure if that's a kangaroo or a mouse, but whatever it is, I love it. Dish Network, walking down the street there, that's Echo Star and Dish, aligned with a Dream in Motion 2025 theme inspired by Dr. King's words. Whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Oh, what a famous quote. Dish Network and Echo Star are committed to progress and innovation by disrupting the norm and focusing on positively impacting their team members, customers, and community. They strive to connect people and their ideas. I love that positive impact, of course. That positivity is what I'm all about. So we've got a Dish and Echo Star there walking through.
Glad to have them with us today. All right, the Tulsa Health Department is rolling along right behind them with their entry, along with the Health Equity Office and Be Well CDC. They say that they are dedicated to protecting and supporting Tulsa County communities in achieving their health goals, reflecting Dr. King's fight for freedom and well-being of all people. They work to create equitable opportunities for healthier lives throughout the community. So you can see their wonderful float and, of course, their mascot as well, turning out to make the kids smile.
Don't bug me, right? Don't bug me. And their float says, "The dream lives." The dream lives. Love that. Coming up behind them, we have Education for Scholars, a nonprofit organization committed to providing educational opportunities for underserved and marginalized students in Tulsa. Keeping Dr. King's dream alive, they believe in the power of education to overcome obstacles, guided by his words, intelligence plus character. That is the goal of a true education. Today they march forward, championing justice and equality for all.
And I believe right behind them we have the Tulsa Masonic District Number 1. This is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping men and women reach their greatest potential through service, mentorship, and community engagement. They strive to inspire personal growth and make a positive impact in Tulsa and beyond.
NYU Tulsa will soon be open in the spring of 2025, and they're showing up here today at the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. It's going to be a home to students across the world who want to come and learn and grow in Tulsa. NYU Tulsa hopes to welcome students, faculty, staff of all backgrounds, and create a space of shared community and belonging. The academic center is going to be located in downtown, by the way. They say they can't wait to join the community. I feel a little bit like at NYU Tulsa because I'm a New Yorker who has been in Tulsa now longer than I've lived in New York, so I kind of feel like that.
Absolutely. All right, and behind NYU we have Cascia Hall Preparatory School, embracing a mission to instill a love of learning, community, and faith that leads to servant leaderships in the church and the world. And who hasn't driven by their Midtown Tulsa campus? Kind of reminds you of Hogwarts, right?
It does, absolutely.
They're reflecting this year's theme, Tulsa, the Dream in Motion. The school is dedicated to moving forward and striving to become better individuals every day, honoring Dr. King's legacy of growth and service.
I love that they have their security team here today. Who's coming down? Oh, and they're giving us a little beep there. Right behind Cascia Hall, we have Queens Village Tulsa. It's a supportive community of strong black women dedicated to self-care, connection, and empowerment. That's what they say about themselves. Providing a safe space for black mothers, Queens Village fosters peer support, stress relief, and healing while working together to build a better world for themselves and their children. You know, you can follow them at Queens Village Tulsa on all those social media platforms, and you can learn more about them.
Now we've got the Oklahoma Birth Equity Initiative. They equip families to have healthy births with dignity, and they try to reduce maternal health disparities, creating a healthier and more equitable community for all. So good turnout there. And look, there's ORU.
Oh, I love it. Can you do it with me? O-R-U. I don't think we were on camera, but we did it, just like the cheerleaders. Oral Roberts University, of course. You know that campus, right, with the big praying hands and all that cool Art Deco. They embody the theme, we are stronger when working together. A collaborative community spirit. Students go to school there from 160 nations. That's over the last 5 years. ORU is ranked among the top 25 universities in America for diversity. Students, faculty, and staff unite in academic, spiritual, and social endeavors, fostering an environment where diverse talents and perspectives thrive. They are looking to make a positive difference in the world. We love going to ORU games, and we love that they're here today.
All right, we've got another. Oh, the Army Corps of Engineers rolling in right behind them. Established in 1939, the Tulsa District of U.S. Army Corps of Engineers manages 38 multi-purpose lakes and 5 locks and dams. Of course, we focus on those so much during the spring weather season, if you will, storm season. They focus on flood management while also supporting recreation, the water supply, hydropower, navigation, and wildlife habitats. Their participation in the MLK Parade honors Dr. King's legacy, and it serves as an opportunity to promote the importance of water safety in our communities.
I could be wrong, but I think that's the first boat we have spotted in the parade today.
I think you're right. You are right on the money on that one.
Up next, we have a New Way Center. They believe that both trauma and healing occur through relationships. Their therapists go beyond treating symptoms, walking alongside clients to celebrate strengths and restore hope. Located in Greenwood, the center is dedicated to addressing historical and generational trauma, helping to repair and heal the Tulsa community with compassion and care.
So glad to see them here. And following that, I believe, is the Tulsa Airport Improvement Trust. Is that right? Trying to see the entries here. So the Tulsa Airport Improvement Trust is committed to fostering an inclusive workplace where every employee is respected and valued. By embracing diversity, their team works together to provide exceptional experiences for passengers and to support the Tulsa community. They're honored to participate in this year's parade, celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his vision of unity and equality. And if you go by the airport right now, you'll see the new international center that they're working on. It's already being built, so it'll be just a matter of time before we have some international flights coming into the Tulsa region.
Okay, I'm hearing that Northeast Oklahoma State Upward Bound is coming up the street or down the street. So we'll be looking for them.
They are dedicated to helping students achieve their dreams. Actually, Julie, we're still talking about the airport. So good to know. You know, it's always fun whenever you drop by the airport to see the new things. They've got some new art that they have put up. It is absolutely beautiful. The new concourses that they've put together. We have a lot to be proud of with our airport.
And it's easy to get in and out of our airport, too, which is a plus.
It definitely is. You have to hub through another city, but we are starting to get more nonstop flights.
We are.
So we appreciate those. Matter of fact, we've got a new nonstop flight, coincidentally going to Nashville, Tennessee, which I'm especially looking forward since one of my kids might just live there. So.
And we continue to see the airport kind of move out of the screen, and I think now we see Northeastern Oklahoma State Upward Bound moving in that big white. What is that, Karen? Is that
it's kind of like an RV. It's kind of like a bus.
Wow.
It's a very fancy RV bus, if you will.
That fancy RV bus, Northeastern Oklahoma State Upward Bound, dedicated to helping students achieve their dreams and making the world a better place. They empower young individuals through education and support. They inspire the next generation to create a positive change and leave a lasting impact.
All right. And then right behind them, as the parade is starting to slow down just a little bit. This is what happens sometimes when you get a long parade.
Yeah.
It starts to back up just a little bit, but the Tulsa Rare Breed MC Club, they are dedicated to supporting charitable causes that benefit individuals and the local community. With a mission to promote a positive image of African American men, they actively contribute to making a meaningful impact and exemplifying unity and service. So glad to see them here today.
It looks like Teach Not Punish Family Resource Center is going to be coming up right behind them. There you can see that TNP on the front of that black vehicle there, holding signs, walking along. So what's Teach Not Punish? They say Teach Not Punish motivates families and professionals by enhancing access to community resources and providing support to build resilience for dreams in motion. to become a reality. You know, Dr. King won the Nobel Peace Prize, and I was reading that he found out when he was in the hospital because of exhaustion, because he had worked so tirelessly for civil rights. I also read that he donated the over $50,000 of the prize back to, the efforts back to the civil rights movement.
If you look at how many millions of miles that he traveled in an 11-year period and how many speeches he gave, it is very, very impressive, the work that he was trying to do that won him that Nobel Prize.
Yes.
All right, coming up next is the Tulsa 20 Gents group. They are a nonprofit organization that should be rolling into our camera range here in just a second. They are doing some really great work here. But you know what? Let's take a second and check in with our Clifton Huskins and see how he's doing. We haven't checked in with Clifton for a little while to see how you're doing.
How much candy is he eating? That's what I want to know. Maybe he's had too much.
There he is. All right, we're going to come back. We got a little mic issue going.
You know what happens in this cold weather? It can eat away at our batteries. And I think that might have happened to his battery. So we're going to change that battery mic, and we're going to check back in with him. He is a ball of energy.
He
so
is.
I know he's having a good time out there on the streets talking to everybody.
He's a relatively new member of our team, but we're so glad to have him because he really brings a new enthusiasm and focus to our newsroom. It's awfully great. All right, Tulsa 20 Gents. Now they're rolling into view. We want to tell you about their group. They're a nonprofit organization of men, and they're dedicated to uplifting North Tulsa through community service and philanthropy. By hosting social events to raise funds, they support at-risk programs, schools, the Dream Center, the John 3:16 mission, and local food banks. Their commitment to giving back reflects a mission to strengthen the community that they serve.
And right behind them, we have the McLean alumni that are moving in. You have it, the Tulsa McLean High Alumni Association. Waving, smiling, coming down the road. Of course, McLean High School, well known here in Tulsa, of course. We have, I think, over 120 entries, by the way, in this parade today. So a lot of them showing up. I'm thinking we might have Clifton Haskin also back.
We do. Clifton, take it away for us.
Well, we are back here now. I have seen the crowd kind of die down near the front, but the energy for this MLK parade is alive and well. You can see people marching behind me. We got some cars. I've seen plenty of great floats, plenty of candy. People are still got their bags out and ready for that candy, but people are still cheering on the dream for Dr. King and equality. Back to you guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Clifton.
You know, this is the first time I've hosted this parade. I've watched it. Yours too? I was going to say, I've been in it and I've watched it, but my first time hosting it. I figured you've maybe done this before.
No, always marched in it. We always have a 2 News team that we always turn out for this every single year that they have held it. Last year, of course, one of the first years that they postponed the parade because it was so cold. And then by contrast, back in the 90s, it was so warm. It was like 61 degrees. So you just never know what weather you're going to get in Oklahoma on January this as we celebrate the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, but we're all glad to be here.
We are. It's a pleasure to be sitting here with you, my friend.
One of my best buds, absolutely. Always, Julie is such a pro and just so much fun to be with.
Right back at you, friend.
There we go.
We have Life Senior Services now rolling down the street.
You know, they provide so much wonderful programming for seniors in our community. They want to promote and preserve independence, and for today, for tomorrow, for always. And they've been around since 1973, Julie, on the forefront of programs and services for seniors, always growing and changing.
Always. And of course, I know they've been doing some Dr. King programming within their organization as well. So exciting to see them out here today. Tulsa Honor Academy here with us as well. The Dream in Motion reflects THA's values of equity, commitment to the community, pursuit of excellence, real change now, and courage. You can hear the bass. Can you hear it?
I can.
Oh, yeah. having a good time there at Tulsa Honor Academy. Their scholars have showcased their dreams for the future in the design of their float that you see behind them. They incorporated their dreams into the clouds and the moon and each star. So I don't know if our camera, if you can read I don't know if you can read those stars, but there's writing on each of those stars on their floats. And that's where they're talking about their dreams and making them a reality in the future. I think that's such a beautiful sentiment and such a beautiful way to keep that dream alive and keep the dream in motion.
Absolutely. And then coming up right behind them is TCTA, Tulsa Classroom Teachers Association. It's Oklahoma's largest local organization of professional educators, and they say that they proudly serve as the voice of Tulsa's classroom teachers. They're committed to the belief that a free and democratic society is built on the foundation of quality public education. TCTA works with educators, with parents, community leaders, and elected officials to strengthen and promote public schools, and they ensure a brighter future for all. Whenever there is an issue, we frequently turn to them for comment, and they never hesitate to weigh in. Always a good resource to provide the public with information on what is happening in classrooms today.
I'm having a good time watching them there at TCTA because the music just stopped, but before it stopped, they were kind of jamming to the music. I'm wondering if it'll pick back up. Come on, let's see it. If they'll. Yep. See, he's starting to bounce a little bit.
Right there. Now, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday today, I do want to tell you that I interviewed Mayor Nichols, and for my producer, Mayor Nichols number 3, please. So I talked with him last week about what Martin Luther King Jr.'s lessons meant to him and to his family, and he says that they really made a difference for his family, and it started with his grandfather.
Frankly, that means that I was also part of the first generation of my family with all the rights that are supposed to be given to all of us. I actually had them at birth. My parents didn't. My grandparents didn't, because of all that change in the mid and late 60s. And so, for me, it's a personal time to reflect because I know my life is measurably different because of the contributions of Dr. King. But then I think as a community, our community is completely different. And I think that's a reason for all of us, whether you are Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever it is, it's a reason to celebrate.
Absolutely. So the mayor is going to share more of his story tonight at 6 o'clock. That interview that I did with him last week, it's really interesting to hear how he feels about Dr. King's message and how much it's impacted not just him, his family, but also our city.
Well, and I love how things are passed down through the generations. Dr. King, of course, was a pastor. Well, his father was a pastor, and so was his grandfather, and he spoke a lot about that inspiration. So that generational inspiration, it means something to a lot of people.
Absolutely. All right, let's go back to our coverage of the parade. We want to show you our next entry here. Amazon, the Black Employee Network, is joining us this afternoon. Established in August of 2005, Amazon's Black Employee Network provides a vital support structure for Black employees while promoting inclusion and diversity across the company. They say that Ben, the Black Employee Network, plays a key role in fostering community in advising business units, leading service projects, and connecting with the neighborhoods where Amazonians live and work. Their commitment reflects the spirit of unity and service that is celebrated in today's parade.
And right behind them, Tulsa County Bar Association, a member organization for lawyers and paralegals. They say they help them achieve their professional goals while providing the Tulsa community with lawyer referral programs and legal information services. The TCBA, proud to celebrate its first Black president right now. This is Stephanie Jackson. So their first Black president of the TCBA. They say she's a shining example of Dr. King's dream in motion in Tulsa.
We also have members of the Tulsa Indian Club joining us in the parade. The Tulsa Indian Club serves Tulsa and surrounding communities with an opportunity to learn, to share, and teach our community about their Native American culture. So very glad to have so much diversity represented, passion here, sharing Dr. King's message of unity and looking forward together.
And I think we're getting close to the end of the parade, if you can believe it.
Really? We are?
I believe so, because I believe that as I look down the street, I believe I only see a few more.
I think you're right, Julie. Right behind us right now, this is the Green Country Bud, one of the local businesses here in Tulsa supporting Dr. King's legacy as well. And right behind them, we have Macy's.
Yes, we do.
We, of course, have a Macy's store out at Woodland Hills Mall. Always so glad to see them in business, reaching out, sharing their fashions, and so much more. They say that Macy's embodies its Mission Everyone initiative, a commitment to building a more equitable and sustainable future. It is deeply rooted in the company's values and business strategy. It reflects a dedication to inclusivity and positive change in the communities that they serve.
And we know Macy's loves a parade. After all, they sponsor that big Thanksgiving Day parade there in New York City.
Can't miss it.
So we love having Macy's right here in Tulsa, in our Tulsa parade. Right behind Macy's, it looks like we have a City National Bank rolling down the street with some people waving out the windows. They're committed to impacting the community through trust, communication, and integrity. Guided by these core values, they strive to build lasting relationships and support the communities they serve with dedication and care.
And then, of course, we have the Tulsa County Democratic Party. They have turned out as well. And they are committed to advancing elected officials, candidates, and ballot initiatives that serve to make Tulsa County a more peaceful, equitable place for all residents, regardless of their zip code.
Oh, and looks like we have a beauty queen on the back of that truck. And I'm not sure.
And that's the last of the Tulsa Fire Department, rounding out our coverage today. It's hard to believe, that it was... This is the day that we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His I Have a Dream speech, he had brought so many important messages to America. He opened so many eyes, brought so many communities together.
Yes, and of course, Dr. King's birthday, January 15th, and so they decided to make the Dr. King holiday the third Monday of the month. So close to the 15th this year, not exactly the 15th, but close enough, and so that's kind of how it falls. It's also the only federal holiday that's also dedicated to service. Yes. So a lot of people doing some volunteer work today to also honor that spirit. So if you've joined us for this live stream because you decided to watch from the comfort, coziness of your home or your office, and you want to think of another way to honor Dr. King, maybe doing something for your neighbor, doing something for your community is another great way to celebrate this day.
It's all about reaching out, working together. Now, as we wrap up, we want to thank you very much. Julie Chin, Karen Larson here. So glad that you've been with 2 News Oklahoma for our live streaming coverage of the parade here in Tulsa. But we definitely want to leave the final words to Dr. King himself. And we hope you have a wonderful day.
When we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.